Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on the time you'll be watching this. So today, Know Your Leader is right in the heart of the Pearl of Africa, Kampala, Uganda, and we are here to talk to a great man. Brian Kayongo is a serial entrepreneur, visionary leader, and first-class instructor with a number of businesses to his name. Stay with me, Abulatsa Imbukwa, as we have this conversation with him. Odiote Brian.
Andy, Shika, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Your country is beautiful. We are so happy to be here.
Thank you. Are you enjoying the sun?
Quite a lot.
Nice, nice. And thank you. This is home for you, so you should enjoy. It's like Kenya. The food and the hospitality is the same.
As we get to know you better, mind walking us through your childhood and the principles you learned then that have guided you to being who you are today.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Shika, for giving me this opportunity to interview me and share my life experience with people in the world. It's a blessing. I'm a Christian. I thank God for this wonderful moment for today. I thank for the support from my family, which they have given me to get where I've got today, because it's not just by me, my power and my will, but by God's grace, and also by the support of my wife. You know, every time they say you say strong man, there's a strong woman behind them. So I thank her for supporting me and for believing in me, and to continue growing with her in life. To answer your question in regards what are the principles which have helped me as a young man being groomed in life from childhood, one of the principles I would say it's I was blessed to grow up with my mom. I spent so much time with her when my dad used to be traveling. So she taught me so much key principles of being patient, and being know how to comfort others and understand situation to handle them step by step, and not to rush on decision making, because so many young people in the world, as they're growing and being groomed, they're quick at making quick decisions, and they don't really get time to rethink of the decisions they're making in life. And me growing up with my mom gave me a principle of comfort, of understanding how to direct others, and also to get a level of becoming a leader at a young level more than other people. Because when your dad is not in the house, you feel like you're the man in the house indirectly. So that gave me a principle of taking on responsibilities, and my parents starting to believe in me and giving me duties to be able to accomplish for them. Like, for example, when we built our first home, I was one of the person who was supervising the project. So that really helped me to start encouraging me to start understanding on certain principles of like being a leader on something small like that. Someone may say, oh, how do you develop a principle of leadership in that? But leading anyone in life is big. It helps you to groom you to understand certain principles of how to manage different peoples, because every person has different characters and they have different behaviors. So if you are able to manage them at a certain principle of life, so that gives you a chance of becoming a leader. And another thing I would say, my parents didn't hide away from me of what they were doing. So like from even when I was young, my dad took me always to the bank. He never used to go to the bank alone. He used to go on Saturday and we'd go to the bank together. And that helped me as a young man to understand what do really people do in the bank. It's not just a bank where people go to pick money or go to deposit money. But I learned that when you go to the bank, you develop relationships with banks, and banks get to understand you. So imagine at my age of like 10, I go to the bank teller, by the time they become a manager, I'm already like 16 or 18. So the bank manager will rate to my life experience to be able to trust me with the loan which they cannot trust for the new stranger. So these are the things which always have helped me to groom me for my childhood to become where I've got so far now.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And to your level of achievement, you're a serial entrepreneur who has several businesses to your name.
Yes.
Of course, there are values you abide by in your daily activities and your life. Mind sharing those values with us?
Yes, please. Most of our value is that first value I consider in everything which I do integrity. So it's like doing the right thing even if you don't feel like doing the right thing because you value someone. Like for me, in one of our companies we own, I'm a CFO there, and I manage money, people's money.
Yeah.
A lot of money comes to you, and you can be tempted, but like I still stand for the principle of integrity. Like if it is a penny, even if it's $1, supposed to be taken back to the client receives that money. Paying from people, making sure people are paid on time, and making sure people earn the right amount of money which they have to earn for the value of work which they have given in the marketplace, because you are paid on the value which you produce in the marketplace.
Yes.
So with that, I put integrity, making sure that everyone who works around me and who we do work together, they help me to stand with that principle of integrity. Another thing, I don't procrastinate on things. Like the moment I see an opportunity, I'll run with it, and I'll study it, and I'll get the right team to work with it. And another thing, having the right team of people who believe in your vision and who believe in your goals. Because sometimes we surround ourselves with people who don't understand our visions and who don't understand our goals and who don't even want to be part of our achievements. So you surrounding yourself with people who want to grow with you, and they can believe in you, in what you are doing, and when you do something wrong, they can direct and say, you know what, here I think we can improve on, we made a mistake, and we go back and apologize to that person we are dealing with, or in a situation, for them to understand, okay, it was my mistake, and accepting mistakes and taking charge of those mistakes. That is some of the principles which are helping me.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Enough. As I was having a conversation with you earlier, you told me chapter 4 is your favorite chapter in this book.
Yes, please.
It's talking about procrastination, and you have mentioned procrastination among the things you try to avoid in your daily life. So how have you managed to fight procrastination? That is something many people fight with.
Yeah.
And mind telling us why it's your favorite chapter in the book?
Thank you so much, Ashika. So procrastination, it was one of my hardest topics to write in my book, I'll tell you the truth, because I was like, everyone will always relate to this to my life. And they will say, okay, you talk about procrastination, but what are you doing in your life? So me as a human being in my life, what I've done is that it will answer again to one of the principles I gave you. Like when I see an opportunity, I don't wait for the next chance. I take on that opportunity. I take charge of the situation right away. Even if it's something like I tell to my team when I get to work, like, you are the solution of your situation today. There's no one who's going to come and rescue you for your solution. You believe that you're the solution, and you're going to find the solution, and you fix the problem. And the earlier you fix the problem, the easier your day is going to be. So that helps you not to procrastinate on a certain situation as an individual. So in my life, I understood one thing, that business is so dynamic. The businesses I used to do when I was 16, right now they are done in a different way of ventures. You cannot do them the same way I used to do them, like getting someone and they work for you for 12 months and they take on the kiosk. No, right now they're done different, because now people have learned how to get access to capital. By then, people didn't know how so many ways of getting access to capital. So capital was us individuals who had thought about ways how we can raise money, and I find an individual who is interested in doing a certain business, and I finance that business, which today so many different businesses are still done like that. But now people know they can go to they can crowdfund, they can go to different clubs, and they can get these funds and start these kiosks. So if I waited by way then and I procrastinated, I would have lost my chance. I would have not been able to earn that revenue which I used to earn in that level of childhood. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm learning a lot from you, Brian.
Thank you.
And to achieve what you have achieved, of course, there are those daily routines that you practice. Talk to us about those daily routines.
So to answer this question is that one of the opportunities which I've got in life is that I do read a lot. And through reading a lot, I read so many books. And through these books, I carry the principles from the books. I don't just say that, okay, I'm just reading a certain book today. One of that book, I need to carry out a principle which I'll practice that day, or which I can practice in the future, or which I can apply into my business. So it's about you consuming the information and which you apply don't just consume information and you don't apply it in your life. So I rate the information into my life and also apply it into my businesses, which I do. And to answer to the question of my routine, which I do every day, is that every morning when I wake up, I take my shower, I do my prayers and all that. Then after, I need to listen to 30 minutes of a podcast. So like I've been listening to this podcast. It's called Day in Daily for 7 years, up to today. So it has been a motivation for me to learn so many different principles. They give you different principles of task every day, and after that, when I go to my office, I make sure most of the times I'm the first in the office. And why I do that, because if you're a leader, you need to lead fast. You need to get to the office before first your employees get there, like 2 hours or 1 hour before. That's what I do. And that gives me a chance to be ahead of them into me preparing my day, because when they come, they expect me to lead. They don't expect me to just watch them.
Yeah.
So that has helped me so much in one of my daily routines, that I go to the office, I am the first to be in the office first, and that has kept me ahead of my program. By the time my employees come in, I'm able to lead them better. And also when my employees come, we have these daily meetings at my place of work. People say meetings sometimes they don't help so much, but like every morning I want my employees to be connected. If they're Christian or Muslim, we pray together. That keeps us a unit, as a team. Another thing, what we do together, we study together. I'm not a leader who wants to grow by myself only. So I have a podcast also which I give to my employees for 15 minutes every day when we are in the office. They listen to it, we discuss, each one gives a point of view of that discussion, so that when I'm impacting them financially and they earn revenue for my company and they earn a salary, they're able also to apply that revenue into their life to develop themselves, because the more they grow, the more they can grow my company. It's not that when they grow, they move on. I make sure that all my employees who work with me, as they are growing, I encourage them to grow, to build a house, to buy land, to do certain things for their parents and all that. But that doesn't disconnect me from them, because they know me, I want the best for them, and they know me, I will be able to grow with them individually. I communicate with any of my employees. I know them by name. Yeah.
Awesome. You are such a great leader.
Yeah.
And what you're doing to employees, investing in them, is something quite beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. So, Brian, as I was going through your profile, and I came across this part where you want to, your lifetime goal is to mentor like 10,000 entrepreneurs. Financial freedom is something you're big on. So, what is the definition of financial freedom to you?
Okay. So financial freedom, to me, I define it like this. There's an example which one of the great gentlemen I like to listen to, Vusu Tembe Choir. He talked about like you see an Indian family is a family which comes on the main street, gets a shop there. Let me say butcher, like they do meat. After a while, he gets his son to open up a store. His son will open up a store which sells sugar, soap, and whatever. Then after that, they'll buy another store next door where they will do clothing for their grandkid. That's what I call financial freedom, is generation worth. So many of us in Africa, we are not being lucky enough to have so many generation worth, more than 3 generations or 2 generations. But the thing why we have been not lucky enough to do that is that my parent plans for me instead of my parent planning for their grandkids. So for me, mentally, as I'm working in my as an entrepreneur, I'm working for my great grandkids, not just even my grandkids. I'm working for that next generation, even past my grandkids, and that gives me a target of not just being comfortable as an individual, because we are so comfortable that my kid has gone to a great school, my kid has got a nice house. When they were on their wedding, I gave them a house. No, I'm looking what is my grandson or my granddaughter going to have, because I don't know what their parents are going to be. I should not have an expectation that their parents are going to be like me. I should not have an expectation that my son or daughter is going to be an entrepreneur like me, is going to be a great business person like me. So in that kind of sense, I have to build a financial freedom for anyone, you need to understand that you build for generations to come, past 1 or 2 generations. That will help you to create that financial freedom as an individual, because you're not looking at you yourself to accomplish what you have to attain in life, but you are looking at attaining for generations to come and prepare for them for the great future. With that, I can add on is that financial freedom leads for you to having a great plan of your future. So many people don't build a great plan. When the year is beginning, so many people build a plan and they say, I'm going to make this kind of money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. How often do you check on your goals? So many people take like, oh, I wrote my goals at the beginning, they check them at the end, or they check them in the middle of the year. Every day, routinely, I check my goals. Every day.
Wow.
It's like when I wake up in the morning, I will add on one of my routines. It's like I check all my bank accounts. I have them on a spreadsheet. I check them every day because that shows me where I stand. I'm not lying to myself that I stand somewhere differently, because people take a week without checking their bank account. What are you doing? You need routinely. These are things which tell you, okay, this is your picture, this is your image, this is where you stand. You are in bad shape or you are in good shape. So those things which people fear to look at and fear to focus on are the things which lead you to financial freedom. And to define financial freedom by me myself is that you are able to do things at the time when you want to do them, not only at the time when you work hard and push to attain them. You're able to say, I want to go for a vacation. I want to help a community in my circle. I want to educate other people to be like me. I want to give, and you're able to do it on your time.
Fair enough. In the same line, do you believe it's possible for everybody to become a millionaire?
So many people are millionaires in so many different ways. Like we had a discussion, me and you, and the most expensive place in the world is a grave.
Yes.
So that explains to you that there's so many of us who have so many opportunity, great ideas in our mind, but we procrastinate on them. We keep on pushing them. I'll start next year. I'll start the other year. So for you to be able to achieve having a financial freedom, as you have said, that if it's possible for everyone, it's possible for everyone if they don't wait someone to give them a job.
Yeah.
Because the moment they wait for someone to give them a job, they are controlled by that person's, their destiny is in that person's hands, is how much that person wishes them to strive. Let me say, like here today, my team is at the level where they are because I'm where I'm at.
Yes.
So if I strive to become a billionaire, most of them in my team, they're going to become millionaires, and others will have even an opportunity to become billionaires. But if I stay as just a millionaire, most of my team people are going to become like people who are six-figure earners, or just few who will become millionaires. But if I strive for that big goal and look forward, then there's a possibility for those people. So that's where I come to answer your point of view, is that everyone can become a millionaire in 2 ways. Them believing themselves that they can start working on themselves, like self-educating themselves. First, self-educate yourself. If you are interested in something, go learn about it. I'm a believer that all of us, it's good we go to school, but I'm a believer that skills are better than school. If you have a mother natured skill, you are better than so many people who have gone to the university, not in a wrong way, but because something which you have, you cannot be taken away from it.
Very true.
So that's one of the things which any idea is you to visualize it and make it to become a millionaire, and make it that it can produce the revenue which you want. Like I say, the marketplace will always pay you the value you bring to the marketplace. If you know you have an idea, let me say you make a nice, let me say African attire clothing. How do you package it? How do you market it? How do you present it? At what time? At what market price? Which team do you work with? Who is your strategic? These are the things which are going to make you or don't make you. So you need to attain that. There are so many different factors which even I can't finish today, but I know for the fact, because me as an individual, I didn't dream at one point that I can be having that financial freedom which people desire to have. And me too, every day I still work on it, because I know one principle which I tell all the people on my team and my wife, we tell ourselves that we rent success every day.
Yes.
So the day we don't do the principles and the things which we are supposed to do to achieve that success, to maintain it, we are losing it. Thank you.
Well said. And we are product of our society, all of us. Maybe as you're growing up, are there stereotypes about money or wealth creation that you heard about? And in your view, have those stereotypes been demystified?
Yes, please. Stereotype, it affects us in so many different ways, especially like from home where you come from. If your parents are looking at money in a way where, so many parents are like, oh, you need to reserve the food which you have eat. Tomorrow there is tomorrow. There are those principles which our parents are like, oh my God, you're not supposed to waste the food which you have put. There are some people who are starving. Your parent will say, money is evil. When you have too much money, you start changing and all this. But me as a Christian, I'll put it to this, that I look at money as a resource God has blessed me with to manage better, to be a great manager of these resources. I don't look at money as cash as what? Because cash is nothing. Cash is worth something when you invest it right and when you put it in something and makes a good return. So the resources which you put in money, those are most valuable, more than just you having the cash which you have. So like our parents, when they're grooming us, they're looking at money as in cash. They don't look at money as looking to what we should put it in, because so many people, it's about the principal beliefs of how from home your parents look at money, in a sense of way that some parents look at money because they might have destroyed marriage. Some parents are going to look at money because you didn't get enough time with family. So like the negative, so many. So in this present day today, we need to consume so much and self-educate ourselves from our parents and from our culture that money is just a material we just use to make other resources which can help us in the future to attain that time which we may miss a little bit one or two times. Like today, right now, I wish my kids were here and running around, but because I have to continue helping myself and utilize that resource which I've got to make other investments, that's why I don't get that chance. And I'm not, my wife, she has got to understand that that's not that my culture that she doesn't look at money in that perspective of way that it takes away time from family. She's like, when I'm with family, I spend time with family. When like also for my parents, they have got to understand that money is just a resource which you use for something else. They don't look at it on the negative point of view, because where we grow up, they are like telling you, okay, you have to go to school. When you go to school, you study, you get your graduation, then you start looking for a job. That's wrong. The day when you start understanding as a man or a woman, you gotta understand that you have to employ yourself first before you are employed. Because if you cannot employ yourself, who do you think is going to employ you? That's one of the stereotypes which we are fighting for. That our parents groom us to be like, you go study. After when you study, you get a good job. No, you should not expect a good job that if you cannot employ yourself. And you should not study something which you think it will distract you from what? From your destiny. Study something which you're passionate about. So many parents tell their kids that, okay, you need to become a doctor. You need to become a professor.
Pilot.
Pilot and all this. My parents wanted me to, when I traveled to the US, to become a nurse. But that was not my passion. My dad understood after like 1 year when he saw one of my books for accounting, and he's like, "What are you studying?" Then I sat down with him and I explained to him that, Dad, I'm passionate about numbers, and I will not disappoint you.
Yeah.
And since right now, I think when he sees this, he will know that I've not disappointed him from what, but him believing and getting out of that stereotype that, okay, when you come here in America, you need to study something which will keep you have a job like medical, because they are assured over the job. They have that mentality that there is assurance over the job when you do something medical. And we are sure, because we are people of color, they think, okay, there are certain jobs which we can entertain. But I've taken that out of myself. And I'm telling you, see, we fight stereotype here, but also in where I spend so much of my time in America. People fight so many of different big stereotypes, because people fight thinking that, okay, we are black people, we cannot attend this. We are black people, no. I believe it's you to disappoint yourself. You are the first manager of yourself.
Yes.
You are the first person who takes away. We can blame it to the stereotype of our lifestyle and where we have gone, but it's you to learn about yourself better, educate yourself better.
So, Brian, your journey to attaining financial freedom has not been without some dead rocks. Of course, you have failed somewhere and learned something. So, what are those opportunities that the young people can delve in for them to attain their first million before the age of 30?
Thank you so much for that question. One of the first things I would talk about, like in through this success, which has been a problem, is that me trusting people so quick, and people who don't believe in my vision, and people who don't believe into what I am trying to achieve, to attain to.
Yeah.
So that is the wrong thing which I did, and every day I try to improve on that. Before I allow someone now in my circle or someone to be part of my life, I have to really understand them, that they understand my vision and my goals, and they willing to be part of the ride, because the ride is tight and we go so fast, and I want someone to be ready to be a strong believer. And even if, because every day we fail in whatever we are doing, I tell my team every day we are failing, and I tell myself every day I'm failing. But what I need to know is that how quick can I start again? So that's what I've helped myself. How quick can you start again? And that's one of the things which someone who is between 20 and 30, before they turn their 30 years old, that they have to know that failure is part of life, and failure is part of the process. And as quick as they can turn around to understand that they have failed and they can restart again, the faster they are. And it's not bad to try out different opportunities. Try different channels. Distribute your opportunities. Don't hold them into one place, because one place you may be lucky. Also, luck is important. So many people say, is luck important in you attaining success? Yes, definitely. Some people may be wealthy because they are lucky. They made the right decision at the right time, at the right position. So that is one of the few things. Another thing, who are the people around you? Are those people able to give you access to the resources you need to grow as an individual? I ask a question. How many people, the first 5 people you have in your phone, can you call them to give you $1,000 as a revenue for you to, as liquidity for you to start a certain small business? Because I will say an average business in Africa right now, to start it, we say $500 to $1,000. You can start a normal average business, which you can enjoy a good return on investment on that. So you need to understand, you yourself, the people you surround yourself with, that they can help you with the resources. Don't just surround yourself with everyone. People tend to waste our time. People tend to consume a lot of our time for the future, because we are here to live not for so long. We are here to live for the moment, and that moment you need to take charge of the opportunity, that before even you turn 30, you have used a strong opportunity for yourself to grow as an individual. Self-educate yourself. invest in you. That is one of the attain things which can help you to become financially free before you attain your years of 30. Educate yourself. And how do you educate yourself? What you started when you're 5 did not apply to you until when you're like 15. You are like, why are they teaching me ABC, Y, Z? But as you continue educating yourself, invest in yourself to do research, read. I read, I consume information like no way, like no, like I don't give space to anything because information is key for me. The more I read more information, the more I attain more knowledge. I read an average of 4 books every month. That helps me to do that. But for me to attain that goal, I regift myself. You need to know how to regift yourself in portion. Don't wait to buy for yourself a yacht, a plane. Regift yourself. It might be spending time with your kids. It might be going to visit one of your friends who you've been taking so long time without seeing, but you are saying, okay, if I do ABC and Y and Z, I'll have some time off for myself to go attend to spend time with my friend or do some activity. So regift yourself in small portions until when you get to the big goals, until when you get to the big positions. It's like building a house. You build a foundation, regift yourself. Take yourself out a little bit for on budget, not over stretching yourself, but regift yourself. That is one of the important things. Another thing, when you surround yourself with people who understand the future and have seen the experience and have passed into the moment, that helps you for you to bypass the opportunity, to bypass the mistakes which other people have done in the past. And that's what how it helps you. It helps you to avoid, let me say you have your 10,000, you not lose it the same way I lost it in my first position, because I didn't have so much of an opportunity for people to advise me or to guide me on where to put that first 10,000. And that's what even led me to open up a crowdfunding, because I wanted to help other young entrepreneurs that they can distribute their opportunities into different portions. Even if they come to invest with me, that's part of the opportunity. Even if they spend other money to self-educate themselves, to learn a new skill, to learn to learn a new skill, or to self-employ themselves directly. You may learn just a new skill to use QuickBooks and you get another job online, and that's continue driving income to you. Also, you have invested money in another places. And another thing, our parents to give us an opportunity to be kids when we are kids. So many parents deny the kids of an opportunity to be kids. I know we live in a different cultured way in Africa. We live in a different environment, not the same opportunity as different people, but still you have an opportunity to be able as an African person on average to save like $5 a week.
Yeah.
By the time you turn like 21, 23, 20, 24, you at least have a minimum of 10,000 which you have saved, which you can self-invest in yourself or do a certain reasonable investment which can help you to attain that you financial freedom which you need and become a millionaire. Because there are so many, I cannot even explain all of them, but they are that those are part of the things which you have to do as an individual to become a self-made millionaire before you turn 30. Another thing is networking. I go you when you go to conferences where it talks about self investment in yourself, look for the connections. As I said, the connection which can give you resources. You yourself, you might not be able to enter a bank and bank gives you money to start a business, but you may find people who believe in your concept. You may find people who believe in your idea, and you don't have to wait to finish university to start working on your idea. Like when for me I started my business, my accounting firm, I saw it when I was going to start my healthcare business. But if I waited to to finish school to start an accounting firm, I would have lost that opportunity. But the revenue which I got from that, and it helped me to start my healthcare business, which has taken me also to another level. So position yourself in the right way. Find the right people to take you to the next step. Don't be comfortable where you are. Be striving for bigger things, but reasonably understanding what is your mission as an individual and what is your goal. because you're going to meet so many great people with great ideas, but those great ideas and great mission, they might not be yours. So you as an individual, you need to sit down, and that principle I learned it from my mom. Rethink. Every idea and every deal is good. It's like land. Today we say, oh my God, people are selling land, land is getting done. But I'll tell you, even if tomorrow you have money, you buy next to the state house. Nowhere you cannot, they cannot sell you. You just position yourself and be ready.
Very powerful.
Thank you.
Those are indeed very powerful success principles you have shared. And that makes me wonder, is there that advice you got as a young person striving to be rich? And that does that advice hold water to the youth of today?
Um, yes, the one of the advice which I got, I will share with you is that to understand Brian as an individual, no one is going to be you, and no one is going to work on you more than you. Every day when you wake up, it reflects me to back on my principles of the things which I do. I define me. Where am I standing as an individual? So many people walk in the image and the picture which they are not in. I will not speak in a position which I'm not in. I will not direct someone in a position which I've never been. So many people give me advice, but I have to look at their profile. Have you got to try out this? But I'm not saying in a certain way. There are some people who can advise you because of their expertise, because they have studied and they made research. That is a different way. But an individual guiding you in a form of way they don't have an experience in that, but they are telling you it's a great idea, it's a great experience, you need to do it. And that puts me to the position when I was starting. I thought everyone is for me, everyone has to work for me, everyone, the moment I see they are good, they will do good for me. No. Surround yourself with the people who understand your vision, who understand your goals. The moment you put yourself in that position, it will always define who you are as an individual, and whatever you want to attain as financial freedom in life, you will attain it. In which way? So many of us will relate financial freedom to money, but I can relate to it having a peace of mind and you don't want to be worked up. Some people may say, me just building my house can give me the comfort of financial freedom. Some people may say, me being able to take care of my parents at the time when they need help, at the time when they need their business, that's financial freedom for me. So many different people define financial freedom in their different own ways. But for me, I define financial freedom as generation wealth, where generations to come will not suffer the same consequences which I suffered when I started, where my great grandkids will have a system in place to build onto that. That's why we see the Aga Khans have a generation wealth. We see so many different people in our countries where I come from with that kind of generation wealth, because they saw financial freedom in a different way of setup, not in a setup of taking care of themselves in the present today, but in a setup of like saying, okay, not only saying like, okay, that family had money. You see, they have even a Mercedes Benz, but there's grass in it. It's growing up in there. You have seen those families.
Yeah.
But we want to see that family has attained success and they're continuing to impact the community, not themselves. Because the moment it goes away from you as an individual and goes to the community, now you are bigger than yourself. Now your success is no longer in your hands. Your success is in people's hands. And people, as much as they believe in you, that's as much as you grow.
Thank you so much. Your parting shot, maybe, to the youth of Africa striving to be rich?
So, my last word to the youth of Africa who want to be wealthy is this: success, you rent it. Today I speak to you, I've rented it. I'm seated in this chair not because I'm the most perfect person, but I'm seated in this chair because I've rented the principles which have made me success. Integrity, believing in other people, investing myself, investing in other people who work with you, and build a strong team. Because right now today I'm seated in this place, but that does not stop my other work from going forward. That interconnection, that even if I'm not in my office in the US, my spirit is there physically, whereby people will feel and say, okay, what are the things which Brian believe in I should do right now? Someone knows they're going to take care of my client the way I will take care of that client. They believe that that client will be satisfied even if I'm not in that presence of they being there watching them. So I'll tell the young entrepreneur of Africa today is that continue believing in yourself, grow yourself through people who give you the opportunity, and when you get an opportunity, run with it. Don't procrastinate on that opportunity, because opportunities are like business. Business is dynamic. What works today is not going to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian, for this great conversation. I'm really inspired, and I know the youth out there are going to really get inspired and start working towards attaining their first million before the age of 30. Thank you so much for honoring our call and sitting with me here on our show, Know Your Leader. It's a great honor.
I appreciate it.
For any young person striving to achieve their first million before the age of 30, this is definitely the video you have been waiting for. In case you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and look out for more inspiring content from leaders across Africa. This is Know Your Leader Show, brought to you by me, Abulaxia Imbukwa. Keep it success, Africa.